work long panguna civil works mi work lo up. Before straight or sabe no olo mando oneme olo man meli lo ya lo le nonas. Mi stop long work yet na. Mombla time or sabe working onemia. Mas. All that process. All like stopping mining. All like stopping mining because wali emotion. Or you know buying paying good or sa kilaw. Emia. O chambla kilaw or you know paying. Na chambra abu onem block kilaw about and finish. And finish now. Na only kirikta sol embolo chambla man. Because now mi plus stop person. All salaina or kilaw sa bakara. Or you not walking the kirik carrying about them. And no the kirik about carrying about. Or you not cross here. Hey, you can come. Who can carry about them up? And all worrying about the you know pain. Or you buying no degree money that's all. Tampa degree kilo or start kissing 50 that's all. It's a competition. Okay? And this worry me kadna. Me work on tanablo fight. Okay, one more time was only working process. One para 40 years. I'm taking one para Mary on top here. Low bill straight. Okay, me one time boss for me to para come down doro ikamanta. Okay, me to para stop lo up me looking. Hey. When I'm sorry long here. Right now only work on only work on light there long.
Only process long right down.
Well, only like look nothing just one or by working. Me bail out now. Me talk hey. Me club one thing right now percent that you got dropping all when I'm something. Itu para kon sim. Ko mi club na mi ko kon stop. Or for isa kon working no ko turu ngol ay. Fighting mall. And mi para sa looking bakarab long bakalab. Em bakalab ya ol kilawn. O try para machine kam. You those in push. Those in bush. Those in bakarab. Mi para looking. Hamas. All people all say Boston and Boston is one of beach here. Wambla tupla man blo buka. Wambla man em France na. Em all sa line ya all you can starting by. Man talk France na em talk Rosem. Hey. Uli bakala pinjira blo mi pala now ya. Because man I'm looking plain. Man I'm boat ya. Em looking plain from TRI. BTL. Boy, this are Helen Blompila. And by finish. So now, what's on now? By working was on him. Mana to him. I'm start looking this one. I'm a tunnel here. This is a plan. I'm looking. I'm going inside. I'm going to look and so go.
Tunnel here, I'm start low mind.
I'm killing up now. Yeah. This are Konemia. This is a Kai. No place for me, but I'm not kissing. I'm not good. I'm not carrying good pala kai. On emia, wala bolong emia. No kon leak inside on tunnel. So now when money okno working this flame. Pambayin pila passing this for mining. Okay, money claiming this much 10
billion.
10 billion. Okay, you BCL you working 10 billion, could buy work. Okay, you not working, buy you finish your up. Money condition, money putting condition now, don't BCL. Okay, all right now I'm not working now. I think I'm killing Hamas. I think 3 weeks. Given 3 weeks, I'm start. And 3 weeks by you working the solar. In condition, BCL now.
10 billion.
10 billion. Odino working 10 billion. May pla fast ko kita.
By parcel get that.
Wah, solo kita.
You mean an open bag?
Before Francis ona, one thing of line blowing, holo solia, only sabe stop long bus, na mi sabe stop long work, mi no solia, mi no wambla lambo, blong Francis ona, mi work boy. Okay, na mi no sabe, for something mi sabe, o sea, online wali already rom, dausin busy lawyer, online wali one mia. Kilapim pait na wali stili mone mi alo laina mai. Don tablong apa gulua. Mekesin. Wali kisino okay lisa time mi no sabe. Lo habinun do fly listed mi contact. Okay olo light squad. Wilo kono doki mi na mi kolo flash. Okay lo morning. Mi kambe goli setting ambush lo up. Okay oli looking mi lo up. Working en sapi milo up. Oli milo up. What kirkir milo up. Okay, oli milo direct. Nahan. Oi tromo yang tap dongkal. Por kari mi golom. Police station. Panguna. Kali milo kolom up. Lo one map. Mi sabe wokulongen. Mi looking wampla boss man wampla. Boss belum mi pla. Nim blongen. Win. White man. Okay, mi working on me action ta solo ngana polo. That's what all killing me. Come to give me long up. Okay, man na solo mo kolom. Oli mi long up. Alibi mi long up. We not killing me. Okay, same time tas solo oli kal mi gam blow up, lo one me lo. Ya bolo mi tu pala. Mi wari. Ai. Oli paiti mi wolo kita skim lo mi en. Pen. Ol balol kan olio kolom paitin ko mi wari now mi toko sem bombla pomen blomi you lose mi ko back mi mai mi ne woni ma payback pasten Okay, mi conta por place. Mana boss por mi no passa mi o ko ati ko salon place. Ko conta pen. Mi ko looking la pun papa por mi. Pon e yukat.
When name long lig press blow you.
Porabou. Mi go long up. Asking papa, you got one me bonera stop. Ko sa time no kat we phones no kat work something. Okay, papa talk and one plus stop. Okay, give me one plus. Na 5 plus spear. Give me now. Me come back. Same day that's all. Come back now. Me start fight now. Me start fight. He go. Me stood in two plus. Ere lo up. One me let's skin lo up. Okay, and bisa tenta sol and bisa one me mining and me gonna stop. Me gonna stop now. Okay, wala kita one mia. Wala kita machine mi puding pa longen. Mi cooking. Wala kita sabol mi cooking. Because mi sabe. Hablo cooking. Okay, iko now mi bukolom. Storing in fight now. Because all lime one mia. Wala solia blom. Francis no stop ya dombusia. Okay, oli ari mi now. Hey. Una plan of working fight or up here. Fight or up here. Okay, Miss Alin Sampla man. When you play go looking line o'clock unemo working fight alo up. Okay, only looking me now. After all sera line. Me pulling tampra man about doyana, me plan working fight. Okay, iko now me press palamando holding gun. Orang belum Francis na, orino kat gan yet ya. Mi olingan, shot kan belum felesiet. Mi asking olman mi kisi. Mi pla starting fight dong time no kat onem weapon diet mi pla kon starting. Catapult, knife, buantem fire.
Bonara.
Na bonara. Okay, mi pla working fight iko now mi pla bonara ya. Emi na pass ya. Mi pla senesim working pocket. Okay, behind now, mi pla working fight iko one pocket, iko mi pla working omekan. Omekan. Senesim sa pocket ya. Water pipe ya, olami or sa calling water pipe. Ipa senesim na sipla. Na onemia. Sa onemia. All the bullet. Na about. Mi pa sabi ako ba sa ko lang doon trokina mi sabi kisin daw up. Sa bullet belum Second World War ya. Ola Amerika o sa mo ilong up. Lispas mi pa sabi usin. The fight. Mi pla kali mi gam lausim onemia lausim olo kita inside longen mi pla putin on sa dry longen mi pla onemia dry longen dry kutru mi pla try sambalo lino paya longen tausin no good sambalo mi cry good em paya em good pla sambalo says mi pla working python this flyer mi pla no got weapons or something, sorry, mi pla working pipe. Pipe iko, big for now, iko. Ko now, ko yolo, one me olo. Ami yoli work long gam now, lawyer.
1989, 1990. 1990 only come. Right squad on 1989.
1989.
When only come now, pipe iko big for now. Iko. Go big for now. Okay. Mi pla lain kulub lo mi. Mi pla ika tone mi olo. Stombra kan now. Mi pla kulom kirkiri mon na kesin. Boko ba isa time lo bait na mi pa ino sabe laundo one mi akal mi pa ko ba sa solia pa sabe ko ba digo sem bus lo pa sabe using okay course in buka mi pa lusin up night do here iko come up lo buka mo sen 7 kilo ko 8 kilo something long night one day kay na nokat kai nokat kai o kai wonen kai ligiri kai mi pasar paini no bus na out dikiri you kai dikiri by you stop on this plan you go working pipe Wolo one me olo one work below me pla, all of commanders below me pla, all sabe stop, all areas commanders all sabe stop. Mi pla all sabe puli mi pla ya, mi pla lo panguna. O sampla commander na about o wakuna yo, trokina o loning up, all sabe signal di mi pla like working on em combine operation. Mi pla sampla man by pla kam, by pla living mi pla working sampla pawa na mi ko fight do up. Bilo kon singa to mi pla.
Ono ami olino bin strong or se mi pla. Olino bin na poka ba lo Bougainville.
Olino na poka ba. All hami what sabe?
Lo wakabot lo busto al bin poret ya.
Ol na talk about. Ol sabe, ol sabe, sabe ko about ang helicopter sa sol. Ol sabe ko about. Okay, mi working party ko now. Ceasefire come up. Ceasefire come up now and start time mi ko down digidik mi duki meria na mi puli meria and Susan and